All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Time to get started. Hey, and good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to welcome you all to the show, folks, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. And I want to welcome you all to the show. And I believe it's Tuesday right now. And just got Monday out of the way. It's done, folks. We can start getting going with the week. I mean, really, because Monday, I know a lot of you went out to the EDC event this weekend. Not I, of course, but some of you crazy people did, and some of you people are younger than I. And so I hope you had a great time. I really do. It was probably a great time for out there. Want to welcome all of our friends from Facebook who are joining us on online. It's it's going to be a really good day. It really is. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of interesting things that just happened recently, and so I'm refreshing our page now. So if you're joining us on Facebook, you're joining us on YouTube or Twitter, or all that stuff. Be sure and say hello to us. If you are on YouTube, be sure to, like right here, someplace, right there, you can actually subscribe to our channel and definitely do that because and there's what do they call it? There's bonuses to being members. So which means that you can actually find out first when we upload the show. Okay, because we upload the show right after we tape it here in Las Vegas, and so you can be the first ones out there. Okay, you can really just check it out, and and there are actually some people who don't even know who the heck I am. So let me back up a little bit. If you don't know who I am, I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. It comes out. It's a quarterly magazine. Comes out. Matter of fact, here, let's put that up there. There we go. Comes out every quarter where we talk about some of the coolest people in Vegas. I mean, really do. I'm really getting excited, and I've lived here in Vegas for many years, guys. I really have. Many years, and I've seen a lot of things that have come and gone. Some of you know my past. I used to be a lounge lizard. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I used to be an entertainer here in Las Vegas, so I was. So I've played some of the cool places here in Vegas. Some of you probably don't even know this. I'll tell you. I've played in. We played the Four Queens for many years. I mean, many years at the Four Queens. Played the Sands. Played Caesars before. Sands, Caesars. It's really pretty much it, I guess. Caesars, Four Queens. And then, of course, we travel all around the world playing. And so I was a singer for many years. And so Vegas has been my home. And we actually developed the name for Livin' in Vegas from a song I sang many years ago called Lovin' and Livin' in Vegas. And we just kind of shortened it to Livin' in Vegas. And so that's where that's where it all came from. Okay, so I don't know why I went there, but I did tell you all about it. And now we have the magazine, which is called Livin' in Vegas. And you can actually check this out. You can check it out on our website. Let's move this out of the way real quick here, guys. All right, so if we, that this right here, folks, this QR code right here will take you right to our website. Okay, go right to the website and you can check out Livin' in Vegas magazine. You can download a PDF copy of it, take it home with you. It'll be great. And we are working on the July issue even as we speak. We're getting calls from people who want to be in it, people who want to advertise it, which is great. You can advertise in our magazine. You really can. All you got to do is send me your info, an inquiry to info@livininvegas.com. It's info@livininvegas.com, or go to our website at livininvegas.com and you can find out all the information you want to find out there. We also publish Livin Weekly magazine, which is cool. And we're going to talk a little bit about these guys here in a couple of segments here, a little later in the show, where we're going to talk about I don't know if you want to call it the overwhelming tsunami that is the Las Vegas Aces. They're the hotness, folks. I've been watching the Aces for a while now. Many of you know this. I'm way ahead of the game. We'll also talk about my team, of course, UNLV, and I'm going to keep my hat there forever. So that way I can always just pull it out so you always see my UNLV hat. But we're going to talk about Livin Weekly Magazine. You can actually get a copy of Livin Weekly Magazine. Just go to the website, livinweekly.com. Okay, livinweekly.com. And I want to welcome all of our friends who are actually on our Facebook page, who are on the Livin Weekly page. I do see that there are people actually over there, which is real cool. And also the Livin in Vegas mag page. So, if you've got something that you want to shout out, or, something you want to comment, definitely do that. And we'd love to make a comment with you on that. Okay. So let's pay a bill here or two, and then we'll be back in just a second. Hi, it's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, that's good coffee. I'll tell you. That is really... every once in a while you make a cup of coffee that's just good. Usually it's your first cup, but today, second cup is even better than the first, which is great. Let's talk a little bit, because I'm going to get into this stuff real early, guys, because I know a lot of people have got to go to work. Let's talk about some of the cool stuff that's going on. And if you'd like to see the rest of the whole video of the show, definitely go to our website at livininvegas.com. You can actually check out the entire show. So today, folks, this is the MSG Sphere. The MSG Sphere. And I know a lot of people wonder, what the heck does MSG mean? Actually means Madison Square Garden. It is topping out today, and in construction terms, that means they're putting on the top. They're actually to the top of the sphere here, and they're topping out the event, or the construction on it. They aren't finished by any means of, but they are definitely going to be there. So here, I'm going to show you a video on these guys. It's just so cool. I mean, they're really just doing a great job. Here, let me see if I can get this video to play at all. Okay, here we go. Let's go. There we go. So this is one of the commercials for the MSG Sphere. And this is just cool. I got to tell you, I'm very excited about what is going to be happening there when completed. Standing 366 feet tall, the company says that the exosphere is the largest spherical structure on Earth. Of course, it's in Las Vegas. 58,000 square feet, fully programmable LED panels. It's going to be incredible, and you're going to be able to see this. This is going to be the hotness, folks. I got to tell you, when it's completed in 2023, it will be the hotness in Las Vegas. Can be surrounded by LEDs. Many of you know, or if you've gone downtown and you've been to the Fremont Street Experience, you'll get an idea of what it's going to be like. Kind of take that up a few years, and you'll see, and updated, and you'll see what we mean. Now, I was an electrician for about 15 years. I know I've done a lot of stuff in my life. So I was an electrician for about 15 years. The very first job I ever worked on was a Fremont Street Experience. Yeah, and so we worked on, so that big, canopy, I worked on that. So that was that was the first job I ever worked on. So I worked on, I think, about a year. I was up there in a crane and this is kind of, I always do this because those arms that go up in the air, they kind of go up like this and they kind of do this thing. And we were up in a basket on a big truck for weeks and weeks and weeks, putting all the electrical in, putting in this, that, and the other thing. And I was up there in the air 120 feet for weeks. We'd go up, we'd kind of sit in between these arms, and we would work on stuff and pull wire and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was really fun. Anyways, it's done now. We're done with that job, and so I'm very excited. And excited about the MSG Sphere, which is going to be done in 2023. It should be just a great thing. Out at Lake Mead, folks. Out at Lake Mead, so this is one of the rangers out there. And you can see this was a shot that was taken a few years ago. So you don't see the bathtub ring as much now as you do now. The water level has been going down more and more. I think we're 1,000 some odd feet. And they have been finding more and more things as the water level goes down as a result of drought. As a matter of fact, they said over the weekend, boaters came across several boats that have probably spent underwater for years. They've probably been down there for a long, long time. And as a result, they're kind of sticking up out of the water. One of them, really surprisingly, was sticking up like this. So it looks like a speedboat. I don't have the picture of it. I mean, you can check it out. Maybe I'll post it online. But the picture is of a speedboat that obviously sunk many years ago, and it's sticking straight up in the air like that, which is really kind of weird that it would be like that. And nobody's ever said anything about that boat for all these years. Like, hey, I lost my boat a few years ago. And so just be very careful out there. I mean, really be very careful out there because it can be treacherous. And as a matter of fact, we're going out on the lake Thursday. Yeah, good friend of mine, Glenn Frank, taking us out on his sailboat. Oh, yeah. Going out on the old sailboat. We're going to go and check it out. Doing a lot of stories on people out there. If you didn't know it, there's actually a yachting club in Las Vegas. And my buddy Glenn, who is the owner of Frankly Good Coffee, I called him up and I said, hey, Glenn, I'm going to be doing a story. Can we go out there and just check out what you're doing? And he goes, oh, you've got to go out on the boat. I mean, you actually have to go out on the boat. Let's go sailing. And I'm going, dude, I don't really want to go sailing. I mean, I know you've got things to do, and I don't want to impose on you. He goes, oh, no, we've got to go sailing. So we're going to go out there. And thank you so much, Glenn, for all you're doing. And thank you for everybody who's, just really been very nice to us as we're working, doing the podcast and doing all kinds of things. Oh, I also want to make one more announcement too. I was just asked to be a guest host for a friend of mine who does a podcast. I'll let you know more about it here as we finalize the thing. But if you have a podcast, you're looking for somebody to do a podcast for you, I don't charge that much. I really don't. I mean, I wish I was, like some other people who charge hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it. I don't. I just don't charge that much. But call me. Just call me up, info@livininvegas.com, and we will see what we can do for you. Okay? Do I have time for one more story? I do not. Okay, I don't have time for one more story. All right, so here's the deal, folks. If you would like to watch the rest of the podcast, encourage you, go to our website to livininvegas.com. That's livininvegas.com, and you can actually check out the entire podcast. I know some of you are going away to work, and so we want to make it convenient for you. So you can download it, or you can go to Spotify, and you can Spotify you can actually download the entire. Either you can do the video or just the audio, or both, if you really want to have me in your pocket with you. Okay. So, anyways, this has been Sherman Ray for the Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, think living local. We will see you again tomorrow for another episode of Livin in Vegas podcast. Bye-bye. All right, and we are back, folks. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, the Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. In our last segment, we were talking about a couple of friends of mine that been just doing phenomenal things for us. Thank you so much, Glenn, Frank, for inviting us out on the lake with you. I'm really looking forward to that. We'll do a video of it, and you can actually check that out. I do want to say something about our Livin Weekly magazine. So this episode of Livin Weekly magazine, we actually have a story about Tia Dow. Okay, Tamia Dow. Tamia Dow is a local filmmaker. We did an interview with her, a couple of weeks ago, prior to her leaving and going to Paris. So she's going to Paris to go to the Cannes Film Festival. She was invited to go there as a producer, even though she's a filmmaker, which is just a pretty big stuff. So while she was gone, I said, Tamia, you've got to do this article because I want to put it in our, in the magazine. And so that interview that we did with Tamia Dow, who's a producer, she's a producer, director, writer, actress, former Metro police officer, and she's at the Cannes Film Festival. I think she's back now. I think it's only a couple of days. But she's in this magazine. So you want to get that article and read about it. Plus, of course, all of the cool stuff that happened over the week. It's just very cool. So, and you can go to livinweekly.com, livinweekly.com, and you can actually check that out. Okay, or I believe we actually posted on our Facebook page, so you can actually check that out also. Okay, just want to make sure you knew that was there. All right, and we are back, folks, for the Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray. Hey, in the news, folks, our hustling rebels, they are the UNLV running Rebels baseball team. We call them the Hustling Rebels. Let me get out my hat here. There we go. Got to put the hat on so you can see how old the hat is. The Hustling Rebels finished number one in the Mountain West Conference for men's baseball for college. And so we're going into the playoffs now, which is really this is pretty cool. So we're the number one rated baseball team in the Mountain West. So we're going to be facing off with Air Force Thursday. So Thursday night, Air Force is the number 4 seed, so the Air Force Academy. And this is going to be pretty cool. I mean, it really will be. It's going to be held in San Diego May 26th. So it should be cool. Looking really forward to this game, folks. If we can just keep these winning ways going on, folks, I'll tell you, we're just gonna. I just don't know. The sky's the limit. It's just the sky's the limit for our team. Speaking of sports, let's keep talking about sports, folks. Really, it's a sports day, okay? And these are this is Kelsey Gray. I don't know what I can't remember. She's great. Kelsey Gray, we love you, Kelsey. So our Las Vegas Aces put a pankin on the Sparks. Oh yeah, 104-76. That's a pankin. Okay, it's not a spankin. That's a pankin. Their 5th straight win, and so Asia Wilson scored 24. Jackie Young added 19, and did some great stuff with this. I didn't get this how many points Kelsey had, but I do know one thing. It was the return of Liz Cambage, who was our center last year. Liz Cambage, 6'8", beautiful, just she's the hotness. She could score 60 points if she really wanted to, but she didn't last night. She only scored 10 points in a losing effort. They got blown out. They really did. It's just amazing. And one of the cool things about the game is that the Aces scored a. And let me get this right. Okay, this is cool. They tie a WNBA record for made 3-pointers in a game. How many did they have? Like 18 or something like that? I think they had 18. It was just amazing. 3-pointers. Oh gosh, what was it? Yeah, we went crazy. Um, yeah, wow. So a franchise record, 18 of 38 3-pointers. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? The girls did. I mean, they really are. They're on record. They are on track to blowing out everybody. And we've only lost one game so far. And they're going to be doing, and they're going to continue just to do all kinds of stuff. So very cool. Let's talk a little bit about local business. This is the Gateway section of downtown. Now, the Gateway district is basically in between the Arts District in the downtown area and the Stratosphere. You can actually see the legs to the Stratosphere there. And there's a big old gateway. You can see the big arch right there with the hanging Las Vegas sign. Some of you remember this place used to be called the Naked City. Okay, there's kind of a no man's land between downtown and the Stratosphere. Well, for years, a lot of businesses down there have been shuttered. Kind of a nasty area of town. But, folks, making a big comeback. Really are. And so this is really cool. In the last month or so, we've had 3 new locally owned businesses that are opening up in this area of town. So we're really excited about some of the things that are going to be going on down there. They had a ribbon cutting on Monday for 3 new businesses down there. One's called Tap and Ash Social Club. Another one's called Nikita Floral Design, and the other one's called Spark Design Group, and that's SPARC. So very excited about that, and that whole Arts District area. And once again, we go back to the leadership of Carolyn Goodman, Oscar Goodman, and how they really believed in Las Vegas. They really did. Tony Shea, who not just believed in it, but he put his money in it. I mean, he really did. He just put his money in it. He moved Zappos from Henderson, Nevada, where it was way out in the boonies, and he moved it to our old City Hall building downtown. And really, that was one of the biggest things that happened in that, right at the genesis of this whole revitalization of the downtown area. I must say, the addition of the Fremont Street Experience, which I worked on, had something to do with it too. I know. Well, I did. I worked down there for like a year. I really did. We did a lot of stuff down there. I can still go down there today, and I know I'm patting myself on the back here, folks. But I wasn't the only one down there, of course. There were tons of people down there. Fremont Street Experience, we worked in that thing for over a year and put in a lot of the new lighting down there. So all the new lighting posts that you see down there, we did that. I mean, I worked on all of the lighting down there. So if you're down there on 3rd Street, you're on 4th Street, either direction, okay, going north towards the City Hall, going south towards, like gas and stuff like that. I worked on all that lighting. So I was a part of the crew that actually put in those lights. Okay, so I know that stuff. They might have been redone by now, but I worked on the original ones. The space frame that put in Fremont Street Experience, I was working on that. So anyways, I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just telling you. I'm so silly. Just so silly. All right, let's talk about something else. There is a let's talk about something else. What do we want to talk about? Oh, so there's some bike share stations, folks. This is actually pretty impressive stuff. So they've got some new bike share stations that are opening up near UMC, the UNLV Medical School campus. So this is really important. RTC of Southern Nevada and Southern Nevada Health District celebrated the opening new station at the corner of MLK and Alta. And we were just down there yesterday. Yeah, yesterday and day before yesterday. So they're opening up some new bike share stations that are down there. And this is National Bike Month. So this is really important that you get out there and do some riding. I mean, you really do. I ride, like I said, I pretty much ride, and many of you know this. I pretty much ride every day. There's probably not too many days I don't ride. Today, I went all the way up to the top of Lone Mountain. So, and I've been trying to, and I'll post a picture of it. Maybe I'll do it a little later. But I, when I go riding, I like to take pictures of places that I'm at, and then post them online. So people go, "Hey, Sherman, you're actually out there riding. You're not just talking out of your hat, your UNLV hat." But I do. I do a lot of riding, and I put on probably, I don't know, 100-something miles a week or whatever it is, and I just love it. So, but it is National Bike Month, so get out there and do some riding. Let's talk about one more thing. There's a while we're talking about health and fitness, this new company just opened up, and it's called Peaks and Pedals. And this is very cool that they're doing some. Let me find the store here because it's actually. So Great Outdoors is attracting more nature lovers and to its camping sites across the country. In a study by The Dirt Campground Search and Review app, they found that 20% of Americans went camping last year, and more than 8 million enjoyed the recreational activity for the first time last year. So there's a company called Peaks and Pedals, and what they're doing is they're actually helping people to enjoy the great outdoors. You're going to hear more about this as the summer goes on. We're going to probably talk more about companies that are opening up, health and fitness, getting out there, the great outdoors, because Las Vegas is more than the Strip. It really is. And we want you to enjoy it. We want you to know about it, all the cool stuff that's out there, especially hiking, fishing, cycling, all of the great outdoors things. And as summertime comes in and now we're out of COVID, we're going to actually be able to talk a lot more about that because there's just so much to do in Vegas. I mean, there really is. We've got hang gliding here. We've got piloting. A big community. We actually have a growing community of pilots. My wife, bless her heart, got me flying lessons 7-8 years ago. 10 years ago. It's been 10 years ago. And I was hooked. I was simply hooked when I first got my first, she got me a ride. So it was for my birthday. I think I forgot how old I was at the time. But, it was on one of my bucket list things. And she goes, I'll get that for you. Turned into flying lessons. So I was very excited about that. And my wife, bless her heart, just blessed my socks off. And I enjoyed that. So tomorrow we're going to talk more about what's going on, especially the MSG sphere, and we're going to keep an eye on UNLV, see what they're actually doing because they're doing some outstanding stuff as the baseball team goes. Okay. Anyways, if you'd like to keep up with us, folks, go to our website at livininvegas.com. That's livininvegas.com. And you can check out all the stuff that we're doing. We're updating the website constantly. Always you'll be able to get our podcast on that website at livininvegas.com and download the magazine. I will encourage you to do that. Anyways, this has been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, think living local. We'll see you again tomorrow, folks, for the Livin in Vegas podcast. Bye-bye.